Hello, it's Sadie. I wanted to come on and do part 2 of the 2025 survival guide video. Spirit really wanted me to talk about the spiritual implications, and so this is going to be 2 of 3 videos because I'm not going to do much of the astrology in this one. I will talk more about the other astrological events that are going to be taking place this year in the 3rd video. So we are only 6 days. I'm filming this on January 6th. Only 6 days into the new year, and a lot has taken place already. With the 9 year, because nine is an energy of completion, 9 is a culmination. This energy this year, and this January specifically, really is going to set the tone for everything that is to come. Everything that we're stepping into, everything that's going to be some sort of like challenge or conflict, and everything also that's going to be an opportunity for us to spiritually ascend and grow. And so that is really what everything is taking place for. And so if you can remember that and not get sort of mired down and caught up in the divine comedy tragedy that is this Earth School, and just know that everything that's happening and everything that's going to happen is part of a higher divine plan, and really, really focus on the light. Again, that's going to be how you not just survive but thrive during this year and beyond. Apologize for the background noise. I do have a maintenance order to fix the fix the fire alarm thing, because it just keeps, no matter how many batteries and stuff, it's just effective. Okay, so let's talk about 9. The number 9 is related to Mars. Again, that's an energy of war. It's an energy of sensuality and sexuality, but it's also an energy of the self, because Mars is the ruler of Aries, and Aries represents the self. And so self-empowerment, self-actualization, and sort of really coming into wholeness with the self is one of the spiritual themes of this year of 2025. This is going to be amplified because this week on the 11th, November 11th, the 111 portal, Pisces moves into the North Node. So the North Node moves from Aries and it moves into Pisces, which means the South Node is going to move from Libra into Virgo. Pisces is another energy of culmination because it is the last sign of the zodiac. It encompasses all of the other signs and is sort of like a physical manifestation of the wholeness and the lessons and the wisdom and the attributes of the other signs. And so everything this year, speaking in terms of spiritually, is attempting to get you to a place of wholeness, of fullness within self. We are not just our ego, we are also our spirit. And so the integration of both this year is going to be extremely important, but also really help people to kind of balance and navigate through these times of uncertainty. Why Spirit was really on my heart to do, number 1, a part 2 of this video and talk about the spiritual implications. Because as I said earlier, and as I said in the last video, January sets the tone. There are going to be events and other things that take place this month, this week even. Again, I'm filming this on January 6th, so things could happen this week but specifically this month, that are really going to kind of pull people into an energy of fear, shock and awe. I'm hearing loss of faith, despondence, really just kind of not understanding what's taking place. And so that's why I'm doing this video. Like I said, I'm going to talk more about the spiritual implications of this year and not so much the astrology, but they did want me to bring up the North Node moving into Pisces because it's a significant energy shift, which means everybody's going to be more spiritually minded, more spiritually focused. Pisces is, also an energy of Christ consciousness. And so, because a lot of times Jesus, or the symbolism of Jesus, is represented by a fish. And so, one of the things they were saying is that this is a year of kind of like coming into wholeness with that Christos energy, with your Christ consciousness, and really, really embodying the frequency of love. And so the theme of love spiritually, and this is both romantic love and the agape, which is unconditional love, is going to be heightened this 9-year. You're already seeing it in my readings. I did the daily oracle card yesterday. The soulmate card came out. You're going to start to feel this energy, especially because Venus is in the sign of Pisces. Venus rules love and abundance and romance, and it's in the sign of Pisces now for the next month or so, and then it's gonna retrograde back into Pisces sometime in like February or late February when it starts its retrograde. So the energy of Pisces and this spiritual frequency of enlightenment, the culmination and embodiment of all of what you have learned up until this point, and really using that in a practical way, not just for yourself, but in the world, is going to be amplified over the next couple months. It's funny how the energy right now really, really supports spiritual growth and spiritual enlightenment, as we're in a world that is sort of collapsing. The society is collapsing. Some of the structures are collapsing. There is this wave of love and light to sort of lift us all up right now, which is, again, why it's so important to have daily spiritual practices, whatever that is for you. Prayer, meditation, gratitude, forgiveness, whatever these things that sort of put you in a very centered space where you can just embody the frequency of love for yourself, love for others, love for nature. Just really pour that into yourself and pour that into the world. However that looks like for you is going to be so important for this year. The thing that Spirit was saying too about the number 9 is that 9 is the number of source. Kind of like Pisces, every number before 9 is sort of encompassed in the number 9. Every sign before Pisces is sort of encompassed in the sign of Pisces. And in that 9 energy, it's source energy. If you take 9 and multiply it by any number, when it reduces down, it becomes a 9. So it's like the energy of source is all that begins and all that ends, because nothing ever really truly ends. It's like everything comes back into one. We are source. Source is us, and all is one, and there is no separation. And so really focusing on an energy of wholeness and love. And the physical frequency of source on this planet is love, because Earth, if you change the letters around, represents the heart. So the cheat code for this year is to stay in your heart and stay in the frequency of love in every experience for yourself and for others. Compassion doesn't mean that you can that you have to take on the suffering of others. It just means that you hold the space for everyone to have their own experience. The other thing about this energy too, with the frequency of love and going back to the physical manifestation of love, is that this is an energy where you are going to see a lot of divine connections. So this could be divine counterparts and twin flames. This could also be union with higher heart soulmates, because not everybody's twin is incarnated. And so it's like spirit's bringing in the partner and the partnerships that are meant to help you to reach that level of spiritual fulfillment, spiritual wholeness, 1111 as I'm saying that. And so you are going to see this beautiful sort of like healing or coming together of twin souls, and then the souls that are also meant to be on your path. So not just in romantic ways, but also in like soul connections, people who are meant to help you with your purpose. You're going to see a natural sort of flow and a natural sort of magnetism of these energies coming together. The wholeness represents union. And so what Spirit was saying about this year and the spiritual implications of it is that union energy, union with self, union with everything that's meant for you, the divine blueprint that is your unique spark of divinity that you're meant to share with the world, your life purpose, the things that are meant to bring you not just great success, but great enlightenment. You're coming into union with those things. But until that point, until that wholeness point, it's like you might feel a lot of pressure. You might feel that anger or whatever is within you that needs to be cleared and purged and cleansed and purified prior to you coming into that physical union, either with a twin, with soul family, or with others that are meant to be on your path. You're going to see that life is going to sort of feel more pressured. Life is going to feel more challenging. Life is going to feel more difficult. I'll briefly get into this because I'll talk about it in the other video more, but Saturn going into Aries in May is also going to bring up this energy of like, Saturn is the Lord of Karma. Saturn is a taskmaster, and Aries is the self. And so that's why I said personal karma is going to be amplified significantly this year. But equally, having to take more personal responsibility for the things that you're allowing to disempower you is also going to be amplified this year. And so for some of you may already be experiencing this in relationships or in your own body, where there's conflict, where there's illness, where there's unexpected health issues, where there's unexpected conflicts taking place. And again, all of this is to get you to purify, to come into wholeness with yourself, so that union in all forms, spiritual and physical, can take place for you at this time. And so if you're having any sort of tower issues that are coming up in your life, understand it's just a purification process to let go of the relationships and situationships and situations and connections and jobs and environments that are not for your highest good. And if it's a health issue, it's just really looking at where are you balanced or imbalanced in your body, and making those changes so that, again, you can come into union and wholeness with yourself and physical union with twins, divine counterparts, and other people in your soul family that are meant to be a part of your physical experience here and now. Union is that vibrational frequency of love. That's what Spirit was saying, of unconditional love, love for self and love for others. And so when you can clear out everything in your life that is not of that vibration, it will help you to reach that vibration and then just easily sort of come into like the Empress energy, easily sort of manifest and easily sort of embody that energy. And then your entire experience becomes that, becomes union, becomes love, becomes flow, becomes abundance. And so that's a lot of what's taking place right now this month of January for many of us. For some of you, it's all areas of your life. For others of you, it's just relationships or just a job or just a home situation. And for others of you, it's your health. So just, again, focus on the light. Understand that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's a purification system that's taking place right now, because that's a word and just a phrase that Spirit's been really placing upon me, to purify. And so one of the survival aspects of 2025 is just purify your thoughts, purify your heart, purify your intentions, purify your body, come into just more fullness, more wholeness, more purification. And you'll see that you'll easily be able to kind of flow with and navigate with these energies right now. The other thing Spirit was bringing through is that this is a time to really be very serene. Find your inner peace. You know, the serenity prayer, it's, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things I can, and to know the difference. Let that prayer kind of be your mantra this month and going forward. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. They are things that are going to take place in this world. There are events that are going to happen that we cannot change, that are part of the karmic completion of this cycle. And so if you can just find serenity and really be at peace with that, and not take on the heaviness or the burden of the energy in the external world, you will really feel a lot better, and you'll do much better, and it'll be much easier of a process, much lighter of a process for you. Part of this process that we're going through right now too is light body activations. And so you could have a lot of, again, body symptoms, physical body symptoms, aches, pains, physical fatigue, sleep disturbances, food disturbances. Again, just be gentle with yourself right now and just feel that serenity within you. Really tap into your inner guidance and your body, and just ask, like, whenever you're going through anything, ask your body what it needs, because it'll guide you, it'll tell you. You have to remember that your body is an ecosystem. Your physical body is an ecosystem of living things as well. You are a living being in a living world, but every part of you is alive. Your cells, your organs, every part of you is alive. And so you are not just one thing. You are everything. And God and your guides and your ancestors really want you to embody that wholeness and to really start to look at the world in that way. You are not just one thing, you are everything. There is no separation, and there is no lack. All of those things are illusions, they're mental constructs, but they're not real. You are not just one thing, you are everything. You are God, you are the earth, you are the stars, you are light, you are love. And so really start looking within for the answers more. Again, the spiritual implications of this year. I brought out the High Priestess because she represents that Pisces energy in the first video, and that's really what we are all coming into. We're activating the higher self, the higher priestess energy, the higher priest energy within us. And that's really going to help you not only with everything that's going to take place in the world, but also with your manifestations. And so Spirit wanted me to talk about manifestation briefly. If you think of the mind as the masculine energy and the feminine as the heart energy, okay? How you can instantly manifest this year and utilize the energy that we are currently in of wholeness is bringing sort of this mind and heart congruence where your mind and heart are in alignment, when your mind and heart are in harmony with one another, to bring in what you desire. You actually don't have to focus on what you want to bring in. The work truly is just getting the mind and heart to be balanced and in alignment with each other. And that will bring in wholeness of your entire life experience. Again, all the money that you need, the connections and the relationships that you need or that you desire, and everything else that you desire to live a fulfilled life. We are meant for divine fulfillment because we are meant for wholeness. And we have to remember that we are source and that nothing is outside of us, and we're not separate from everything in this experience. We have access to all because we are all things. And so if you can kind of get the masculine and feminine energies within you to come into union, you will have instant manifestations of all the things that you want and all the goals and achievements that you are seeking in this physical reality. The other thing too with the spiritual implications is that there's a lot of new / old souls coming in, which means there's going to be a lot of people leaving, a lot of people who've completed their soul contracts here. So some of that's going to look like physical death. I talked about that briefly in the first video. But others are not going to have a physical death, but have a walk-in experience. So for those of you who don't know what walk-ins are, basically a walk-in soul is a soul that contracts to come in. Usually the walk-in soul is a more highly evolved soul, or they've learned certain lessons, or they don't have certain karmas. And so how it typically happens, and it doesn't always happen this way, but how it typically happens is someone has an NDE, a near-death experience, and then they sort of wake up from that, they survive it, and they're just different. They're more evolved, they're more spiritually advanced. They've gotten messages from the other side. And so walk-ins can either be a full integration of your higher self, or it can be actually another soul that sort of embodies you in this physical life. So I don't want to say it takes over your body, but it drives your mission, so to speak. And so there's going to be, because of Pisces going into the North Node, there are a lot of new soul contracts for walk-ins to come in. And so what this means is that not just people are going to be sort of more spiritually advanced and more spiritually minded, but some of you may have this experience, or some of your family members and people you know, where it's like they were not awake at all. They thought you were the weird one. They thought you were woo-woo, and then they have a walk-in experience. And they're really, truly like an advanced soul, because there are ascended masters coming in and children coming in who have like no karma and highly spiritually advanced gifts, who are meant to be on this earth at this time. And so again, the walk-in could literally be a full embodiment of your higher self, or someone's full embodiment of their higher selves, where their complete personality changes. Or because there's a lot of union energy happening with twins and with higher heart soulmates, this is a time of great fertility that's going to take place. When I was getting this message, about an hour later, I was just scrolling on TikTok, and this woman came through and was talking about how she had a baby during the pandemic. And so her daughter's 4 now, and her daughter claims to be from the sun and gives these very like spiritual messages. And so that was like the confirmation, but it's going to be more children just coming in saying they're from the sun, saying they're from Saturn, saying they're from Venus, saying they're from other star systems, giving very highly evolved spiritual messages. And so I know some of you are biologically past the age of conception and birth, but many of you are not. So just understand, the souls have already chosen who the vessel they're going to come through is. This is coming out in the weekly energy reading. That's why I'm bringing it up here. Fertility is going to be heightened. Even for those of you who have told you can't have kids, or you've struggled with fertility, this could be the year where you become a parent for the first time, where there's no issues with fertility. Because these, I call them new old souls, new souls to earth, where they've never been on earth before, but they're much older souls and much more advanced souls are going to be coming in. And so for some of you, this is going to be new grandchildren you're not expecting. For others of you, this is actually going to be a child that comes into your life. So there's this beautiful, again, energy of love, love frequency, bringing in new souls, bringing in more light. The thing about this energy too, why I brought up the story of the woman from 2020, is because some of the events that could take place will be an energetic parallel to things that took place in 2020 with lockdowns and a lot of restriction, which again brings people together, which will sort of bring in this boost of conception and fertility. And some of you may be like, oh, I don't want that to take place. I wouldn't want to bring a child into this world, and all of those things from the ego and 3D perspective make a lot of sense. But spiritually, again, this is the spiritual implications of this year. Spiritually, some of our missions really is just to bring in these higher advanced souls, or to nurture these higher advanced souls. And so just be mindful that that could be the mission and the soul contract that you have with your twin or your higher heart soulmate. And that is part of the purpose of you coming into union at this time. Okay. But there is going to be a lot more experience of walk-ins as well. So people not actually physically dying, but then fully embodying their, like I said, their higher self or a higher, more advanced soul coming in and sort of driving the ship, driving the mission. And you hear about this a lot when people have near-death experiences, and then they see the light, and then they get messages about the earth and about love and about healing and about all these things. There's going to be more of that now, starting now. All right, Spirit, anything else that I didn't bring up for this video? No, they're just saying to remember you are whole. Remember joy as a part of your life experience. Remember your divine inheritance. And allow yourself to embody the frequency of love. Love is what we are made of, and love truly conquers all. For those who have had their heart broken in this life, understand that true love is coming in. And let love into your life. Everything will be worth it in the end. Sending love. Take care.